Check the chair. If you want to check the whole row, knock yourself out. And there you go. And those you can take to the front counter when Ducky's done speaking, and you'll get your gift for the night. So just hold on to those. We want you to see everything. Okay, so now let me introduce Shannon. She's our head designer for our costumes, and she's going to take over and introduce our models.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to our event tonight. Tonight we're going to be showing just a few of the styles from our exclusive 2015. Have you guys ever been here for Halloween? Raise hands. So you guys know it gets really crazy here during Halloween. So you guys got something really special tonight. You guys are going to be the first ones to see our very first time. Lisa Morales. This is our Cave Beauty. As you can see, the bra here is handmade. The skirt here is handmade as well. Everything you see here will come as is. It's a totally beautiful costume. You can adjust it from the back, so this anyone can get into. The skirt is totally adjustable. It's a great outfit to dance in. Yes, absolutely great for Miami. And we will have around 34 styles this year. We'll be bringing back some of our styles from last year. They sold out pretty quick. And just to let you know, we also have stylists here during Halloween to help you guys out with if you're looking to be something else rather than any of our exclusives. We also have stylists here that will help you put together your unique costume. That's what makes Plaything so special. Next up is actually one of my favorites, is Maria, and this is Miss Mardi Gras. Throw some beads out. You get a lot of people to flash you during Halloween. It's a very funny, sexy costume. You can't go wrong. This is an awesome costume. The bra is handmade. The skirt is totally adjustable. The stockings also come. She's wearing little booty shorts. Everything you see here comes with the costume. We try to make it easy for you guys so you're not running all over the store. I need this, I need that. It just comes as packaged as is. And the headpiece is totally adjustable too. So this is a costume that anyone can get into. It hides your belly. Totally fun. A great Lincoln Road costume. Thank you. Wait another minute for Lisa to get changed. These costumes are very elaborate. They come with a lot of pieces, so it takes a couple of minutes to put them on. And I'm here the 2 weeks before Halloween, so if you need any help, I'm here to help you guys out. You usually can find me in the fitting rooms. Just ask for Shannon. You go radio for me, and I'll come find you. Also, Lisa Morales is going to be signing some posters tonight. If you guys want one. And this is our Jewel of the Nile. This is a high-waisted catsuit. Everything you see comes as is. You can actually wear this costume front to back to front. If you want cleavage, you just put it on the opposite way. You can zip it down and have your cleavage out. Or you can reverse it and wear it just like the way Lisa is. It's a very comfortable costume. You can move it in very easy. And these costumes are limited too, so once we put them out on the floor, they usually sell out within a week, 2 weeks. We have a lot of people that come towards the end of October looking for these costumes and they're already sold out. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa! Next up we have Maria. Maria was my sexy bartender, serving you guys all the wonderful mimosas today. This is our pinup pirate. Yeah, this is a fun costume too. High-waisted, everything you see comes as is, the stockings, the shorts, the bra. So once again, you buy this costume, you buy it complete. And you don't have to worry about accessorizing it, or running here or running there. You just literally pick up your costume and go. And also during Halloween, we have special effects makeup artists. Like if you want to be a zombie pirate, or just make your costume stand out more. The last day of Halloween, we usually have pretty awesome makeup artists, 2 to 3 of them. And I recommend to book your appointment 2 to 3 weeks in advance. Thank you so much. Those were our sneak preview for our exclusive 2015. Thank you so much.
We'll have about 30 more styles when we come back in August, and we'll have a couple more models, but for sure Lisa and Maria will return. Okay, so Ducky's gonna be coming up now, and at the end of this session, she'll be giving away a weed vibe. That's a $179 giveaway. So stick around. She's gonna surprise everybody with how she's gonna give that away. But here's Ducky again.
They're gonna bring my table up. All right. I need all that stuff. Okay. How you guys doing? That was hot. I always had to quit my job and go home. I was like, I can't go on after that. Those ladies are beautiful. And those costumes are beautiful. And I know at the end of the summer, they're going to do another costume show. So if you haven't signed up for their email list, you can do it at the front counter, and then you can find out about all kinds of ruckus going on here at Playthings. But, I mean, I hear that Halloween in particular, there's already like wigs and crinolines to the rafters in this place, so I can only imagine how amazing it's going to be. It's the only place to go, I'm quite sure, when it comes to that stuff. So, we do have, thank you so much. I'm kind of messy tonight. Miami can take it though. Yeah. So, we're going to talk about some headgear stuff. I know that a lot of people have questions in between, and so I'm going to hit some of those questions as well, because I want you to have what you want. Like, that's the most important thing to me. So, as we do this, we're going to talk a little bit about BDSM. Well, you know, there's been some books and some movies lately, and it's like the world has kind of opened up for a lot of people. And it's a cycle that happens, like in my lifetime, we've seen it happen with 50 Shades of Grey, where suddenly people are talking about BDSM a lot more, what's good and what's not good about those books and movies and stuff. And then there was Anne Rice. Did anyone read those books? Those are kind of cool, right? They're beautiful. And before that, there was the movie Secretary. Do you guys remember the movie Secretary? amazing movie. It's pretty cute and dirty. And it's a mainstream film. So in regular clicks, but I've never seen anything break open like 50 Shades of Grey has, and how mainstream it's gotten. It seems like every mom was reading that book and every daughter was reading it too. So, you know, I happen to really love edge play. I love BDSM, and I love exploring and finding new things. It wasn't always the case, you know, I'm like anybody else. My sex life has gone up and down based on, you know, the relationship I was with, and when I was younger, I wasn't quite as good at picking partners. Sometimes we fuck the wrong people, you know what I'm talking about? But I find that as I get older, I get better at picking partners, and the more I can trust people, the more exploration I can do. And ball gags are actually a pretty good example for me of something that had never entered my sexual imagination. Like, I never considered a ball gag in my life. Like, it was like one of those things that I knew existed, but it wasn't really hot to me, right? But then I got this partner, and he's dominant, and I'm not, right? So, what am I stepping on? Okay, so he said to me one day, I want you to go to the store and buy a ball gag, and keep it in your purse, and if I ask for it, it better be there. Right? I was like, okay, I'll go buy a ball gag. So I went and I got a ball gag. Very similar to this one. I actually own this one now too, but this is a silicone ball gag. It has no taste and no smell, right? Because if you get one that's made of rubber or some other material, sometimes it can have a taste and it can distract you. Silicone's a great product in terms of something that's going to go in your mouth. So I went and I got a silicone gag, and it was still in the package, and it was in my purse. Now, I flew in 2 or 3 hours ago. I'll be on a flight at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's typical for me. So wherever I was going with my purse, this ball gag was going too, and so it went through a lot of TSA checks. And every time I walk up there, I'd be like, okay, here we go again. The ball gag going on through. And I can be pretty shy, surprisingly. So, but I had it, and he would ask me periodically, do you have the gag? Yeah, I have it, right? But of course, it's not my thing. I'm not excited by it. I'm like, it's a fearful thing. And so, this went on for, I think about 6 to 8 weeks, and finally I was like, okay, when are we going to use this thing? And he was like, we're going to use it right now. He was waiting for me to ask, right? And I was scared because a lot of times when you do BDSM, you use what they call a safe word. Can anybody tell me what a safe word is? Banana. Banana, yes, not stop. Okay, jellyfish. Some word that is not sexual, it's not no, it's not yes, it's not stop, it's not please. It's, you know, it's a word that is completely off base. So say you're getting spanked really hard and suddenly you holler out banana or jellyfish. You know, the person knows, oh, we need to stop what we're doing right now. So I'm accustomed to having a safe word so that if things get out of control, I can express myself and say I need this to stop. And that's what somebody who's trustworthy will ask for you to have a safe word. But with a ball gag, I was worried about how well I say banana, right? In the middle of this situation. So what my partner did is he took a set of keys and he put them in my hand so that if things got out of control, I could drop the keys. So one of the things I love about BDSM is once you start playing, it's very creative, like in how you communicate and how well you communicate and the ways that you play. So then we started to use the ball gag, and one of the things the ball gag does is it makes you drool uncontrollably. And I love any uncontrollable sexual expression. I love it. I love orgasms, I love squirting, I love all of that sort of stuff because it just is undeniable and beautiful and out of control, and that's the kind of sex I think is awesome. So as I wore the ball gag and I started to drool, it was like, fuck, this is hot, all right? And now I'm like I literally own about 14 gags. I cannot get enough. So this is a silicone gag. It comes in 3 sizes, and it has breathe holes in there, which is also really good, you know, because you can breathe really, really easily with this gag. And every kind of gag that you see is going to be a little bit different. This is the other problem. Once you get into kink, then you need everything, right? So this one right here is shaped like this, but some people have a problem where their jaws are really tight, right? And so it's much smaller where your teeth come together. And so this is a much easier gag to wear, but again, you drool even more with this one. It's made out of silicone, no taste, no smell. And one of the reasons that I tell that story is one, it's so cool, I'm 45 years old and I'm still finding things that I never knew would get me off, I can't wait until I'm 70, what the fuck am I going to have sex with them, But it's good to keep your mind open. A lot of times people come to me and they say, I want this thing, but my partner doesn't want it, I want to suck toes, or I want to stick my finger in their butt, or I want to do something and my partner's not into it. That's okay. What can be really, really great is when you can say to a partner what you want, or you can hear from a partner what they want. It doesn't mean you necessarily have to do it, right? And sometimes you plant a seed. So you say to someone, I'd really like to put my finger in your butt, and they're like, no, not going to happen. And then when you say, well, if you change your mind, I'm your girl. Come back to me. And sometimes they sit with the idea for 20 minutes. Sometimes they sit with the idea for 2 years. And sometimes they never come back and ask for that thing. But at least you can say, my mind is open to this. I think it's an interesting idea. Ducky told me about it at Playthings. And tonight really is. You can go home and ask for any fucking thing you want tonight. If your partner knows you're here and they're not here with you, you can go back and say, she talked about spanking all night. And I couldn't understand it, but by the end of the night, I think I want to try it, And they can ask me, and I'll be like, hell yeah, I did, So it is a good night to go home and ask for whatever you want, or go home with that thing you've always wanted to try, and you can put it in front of a partner. So from there, I've had some really cool experiences, like I've gotten to design a lot of toys. So I invented this paddle right here, right? It's made of silicone, and now, I want you to be informed consumers when you go shopping. You hear me talk about silicone a lot. I talk about sex toys that have no smell and have no taste. In part because I want you to look for high-grade materials that you can clean easily. So when you think about sex toys, I want you to think about the toys that are made out of the same thing as cookware, because cookware is well-regulated and it's designed to be clean. So if it's something you're using inside your body in particular, you go for silicone. Go for stainless steel, go for glass, go for hard plastic. All the same kind of things that cookware would be made out of, because then you know it's safe for your body. So you can cook food in it, and store food in it, and wash it. Then you know that whatever the sex toy, if it's made out of the same thing as cookware is, you can also clean it really well. So when it comes to paddles, and props, and canes, and things, typically they're usually made out of things like leather, or PVC, or these things that you can't clean. And so if you're a kinky person, or a kinky couple, you get your tools together, and then whoever's tools that body's used on, when you break up, the tools go with that person because it has their, DNA connected to it. So every time you break up with someone, if you're a dominant, you have to get a whole new set of tools because that's expensive, because you can't sterilize the tools. So I thought, well, why can't we make a paddle out of silicone? So I called up one of my favorite sex toy companies and asked them to do it. And 4 months later, these were on the market. And so they're mean. They're really, I can't even show you. Let me see. They're really, really mean, which is awesome because if you're a lazy dominant who likes to spank, you don't have to hit very hard, So you get a lot. You can be really, or, I find that a lot of people who are into kinky stuff oftentimes have problems with their bodies. MS, neurological issues, disabilities, abilities that are different than other people's. And so one thing that this taught me is if someone doesn't have great motor skills, they can continue to give a great spanking with something like a silicone paddle. I have a friend who's kinky and vision impaired. She likes this short paddle because you can put her hand where it's going, and then when she knows exactly where it's going down. So the thing about kink that I love so much is it makes you think about bodies and sex in a whole new way. And so we made this one, and then I was at a sex shop, and all the staff at the sex shop was kinky, and we were talking about it, and the first thing they said, well, it's silicone, and you can use the silicone internally, so I'm going to fuck my partner with a handle. And I was like, oh! Right? And so then shortly after that, we came out with this one, which has a G-spotting prostate handle. This is called the plunge, and again, it's just mean as hell. So I didn't know it would be that mean, but it gets really fun to think in different ways. Part of the thing about, using a ball gag and limiting a person's ability to talk is then they have to use other ways of communicating with their eyes and with their body. The same thing is true